Welcome to another episode of Drums of the Storyteller, where love, fate, and destiny intertwine. Today we bring you an extraordinary love story, a tale of wealth and struggle, betrayal and kindness, and a love that defied the odds. This is the CEO's Heart, a maid's unlikely love story. Sit back, relax, and let the rhythm of the storyteller's drum take you on this unforgettable journey. In the bustling city of Lagos, Nigeria, where towering skyscrapers meet the bustling streets of traders and vendors, two worlds existed side by side but never truly collided. On one side was Daniel Williams, a wealthy and powerful CEO of Williams Holdings, one of the biggest real estate firms in the country. Known for his cold, no-nonsense attitude, Daniel was feared by his employees and admired by women who longed to win his heart. But behind his suit and icy demeanor was a man haunted by past heartbreak. On the other side was Amara Johnson, a young woman struggling to survive. Orphaned at a young age, she had dropped out of university and taken up work as a maid to provide for her sick younger brother. She was kind, humble, and full of dreams that seemed too far away to reach. Fate had a funny way of bringing people together. Amara was hired as a housemaid in Daniel's grand mansion, a house so big it felt like a palace, but her job was anything but glamorous. She worked tirelessly, waking up before dawn to clean the vast halls, serve meals, and stay out of sight. Daniel barely noticed her existence until one fateful night. A business deal had gone wrong, and Daniel returned home in a storm of fury. His penthouse was dark, and in his frustration, he knocked over a glass vase. The sound of shattering glass startled Amara, who had been cleaning quietly in the corner. Seeing the mess, she rushed to clean it up. "Leave it!" Daniel snapped, his voice sharp as steel. But Amara, unafraid, knelt and carefully picked up the shards. "You might step on them, sir," she said softly, without looking up. For the first time, Daniel truly looked at her. There was something different about her, the way she carried herself, the quiet strength in her voice. Days turned into weeks, and Daniel found himself noticing Amara more often. Unlike others, she didn't cower before him or try to impress him. She was simply real. One evening, as Daniel sat in his office, drowning in work, he heard the faint sound of humming. It was Amara singing a lullaby as she cleaned. The melody was soothing, and for reasons he couldn't explain, it made him feel at peace. "Where did you learn that song?" he asked, surprising even himself. Amara turned, startled. "My mother used to sing it to me," she said, before she passed. A rare moment of silence passed between them. For the first time, Daniel saw her not as a maid, but as a person with a story, with pain, just like him. The mansion's staff began to notice Daniel's subtle changes. He no longer barked orders at Amara. Sometimes, he even waited for her to finish speaking something he never did for anyone. One rainy evening, Amara found Daniel outside in the garden, drenched in rain, staring into the distance. "Sir, you'll catch a cold," she said, holding out an umbrella. Daniel didn't move. "Have you ever wanted to run away from everything?" he asked. Amara hesitated, then answered honestly, "Every day. But I have my brother to take care of. I can't afford to run." Daniel turned to look at her, realizing how different yet similar their struggles were. She had no wealth, yet she was rich in love and responsibility.
Just when emotions were beginning to stir, disaster struck. Daniel's fiancée, Vanessa, returned from abroad. She was a wealthy heiress, chosen by Daniel's family for him to marry. But Vanessa had no love for him, only his fortune. She immediately noticed Daniel's softened demeanor and how his eyes lingered on Amara for too long. Her jealousy turned into rage. "You think she cares about you?" Vanessa spat one evening, cornering Amara in the hallway. "She's a gold digger, playing innocent." Amara, hurt but composed, responded, "I have never asked him for anything." But Vanessa wasn't done. That night, she framed Amara for stealing a priceless diamond bracelet, planting it in her quarters. Daniel was furious when the accusation came to light. He stormed into the servants' quarters, holding up the bracelet. "Tell me the truth," he demanded. "Did you take this?" Amara, tears brimming in her eyes, shook her head. "I would never steal, sir." But Vanessa played her part well, shedding crocodile tears. "She's lying, Daniel. You can't trust a maid." For a long moment, Daniel was silent. Then, with a heavy heart, he uttered the words that crushed Amara. "You're fired." Amara felt her heart shatter. Without another word, she gathered her things and left. Days turned into weeks. Daniel buried himself in work, but something was missing. Every morning, he found himself expecting to hear her soft humming. Every evening, he wished she would greet him at the door. He was a man who had everything. But without Amara, he had nothing. One night, he overheard Vanessa speaking to a friend over the phone. That foolish maid actually thought Daniel loved her. Huh. Well, I made sure she was out of the picture for good. Daniel's blood ran cold. "You did what?" he demanded, stepping into the room. Vanessa's face paled. "Daniel, Get out." His voice was low, dangerous. "And don't ever come back." Daniel searched for Amara everywhere. Finally, he found her outside a small roadside shop, struggling to carry groceries. She looked thinner, tired, but when she saw him, her eyes still held warmth. "Amara," he breathed. She hesitated. "Why are you here?" "Because I was a fool. I should have believed you." "It doesn't matter anymore, sir." But Daniel took her hands. "It does to me. I don't care about wealth, status, or what anyone thinks. What matters is you." For the first time, Daniel Williams, the ruthless CEO, knelt before a maid in the middle of the street. "I love you, Amara." Tears streamed down her face, but this time, they were tears of joy. Months later, the world watched in shock as Daniel publicly announced his engagement to Amara. "I don't care where she comes from. I love her, and that's all that matters." Their love story became a legend in the city, a tale of fate, betrayal, and a love that conquered all.
And so, against all odds, love found its way. True love isn't about wealth or status, it's about kindness, trust, and seeing beyond the surface. This has been another tale from Drums of the Storyteller. Until next time, may love always find a way. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.